Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best laptop for graphic design.
Starting at number 5.
Microsoft Surface Pro. If you're a digital artist or often work with a stylus, get the Microsoft Surface Pro 8, 2021, a 13-inch tablet PC. You can detach the keyboard when you need to draw, and the kickstand allows you to tilt the screen to nearly any angle you want. Its 3:2 IPS panel is incredibly sharp, bright enough to combat glare, and has a 120 Hz refresh rate to make pen input more responsive. While you can use any Microsoft Pen Protocol stylus, Microsoft Slim Pen 2 is more convenient, as there's a slot on the type cover keyboard to charge and store the pen. You need to buy the stylus and the keyboard separately, though. Another downside is its limited port selection of 2 USB-C/Thunderbolt 4s. As you may already know, Microsoft has released the Surface Pro 9. It's essentially the same device, mainly an internal upgrade to faster Intel 12th Gen processors. The only design change is the removal of the headphone jack, which means you'll need a USB-C audio adapter if you want to use wired headphones, and there isn't one included in the box. There's also a Surface Pro 9 with an ARM processor and LTE connectivity, but it doesn't perform as well as the Intel models and lacks Thunderbolt for support. Price-wise, the Surface Pro 9 is more expensive, not just because it's a newer model, but because the Surface Pro 8 is discontinued and often on sale, so if you don't need the upgrades, you can save some money with the older model. See the Surface Pro 9 on Amazon here.
Coming at number 4.
Acer Swift 3. The best laptop for designers we've tested in the budget tier is the Acer Swift 314, 2020. It's an older model from 2020, so the price has decreased considerably, making it a great budget-friendly option. You can configure it with an Intel 11th Gen Core i5 or i7 CPU. These CPUs are a few years old but still adequate for graphic design, so long as the material isn't overly complex. As for the display, it has a 1080p IPS panel with full sRGB coverage, which is fine for digital media, though not ideal for print graphics. The battery lasts over 13 hours of light use and charges over USB-C. You can only get up to 512 gigabytes of storage, which might not be enough if you store your work on the internal drive, but on the upside, it's user replaceable, so you can swap it for a larger one later.
At number 3.
Lenovo Yoga 7i. Our best mid-range pick is the Lenovo Yoga 7i 16, 2023. It has a large 16-inch display, so you get plenty of room to work comfortably. You can choose between an FHD Plus or QHD Plus panel. We recommend the latter because it looks sharper, has full sRGB coverage, and gets brighter to combat glare. It's a 2-in-1 convertible with stylus support, though you may have to buy the pen separately, as it doesn't always come with the laptop. Port selection is excellent. You get 2 USB-As, 2 USB-C/Thunderbolt 4s, a microSD card reader, and an HDMI port. It's available with Intel 13th Gen U and P series CPUs, which perform well. However, it only has integrated graphics, so it isn't ideal for 3D graphics requiring lots of GPU processing power. You can get this laptop directly from Lenovo if you have trouble finding it elsewhere.
Number 2 of my list.
Apple 2023 MacBook Air. If you don't need all the processing power of a mobile workstation and prefer something thinner and lighter, get the Apple MacBook Air 15, 2023. It has a larger display with the same 100% DCI-P3 coverage and superb factory calibration. It just isn't a mini LED display, which likely won't affect your work. The main downside is its limited port selection, as it only has 2 USB-C/Thunderbolt 3 ports with support for a single external display. At the time of writing, Apple has released a newer M3 model that supports 2 external monitors, but that only works with the laptop's lid closed. Also, the number of ports remains the same. Performance is very similar between the M2 and M3 chips, so it doesn't matter which one you choose. That said, know that Apple has discontinued the M2 model, so you can only get it from marketplaces, third-party sellers, or Apple's refurbished section. We'll have a full review of the M3 Apple MacBook Air 15, 2024, soon. A great Windows alternative to the MacBook Air 15, 2023, is the HP Spectre X36014, 2024. This premium 14-inch 2-in-1 convertible sports a gorgeous 120Hz OLED display with near-full Adobe RGB coverage, a haptic touchpad, and a 4K webcam. It has a wider port selection, including two USB-C/Thunderbolt 4s and a USB-A, and unlike the MacBook Air, it can support two external displays with no caveat. Since it's a 2-in-1 with a 360-degree hinge, you can use the device as a tablet. There's pen input support if you need to draw with a stylus, though you may have to buy the pen separately. One thing to remember is that the OLED display flickers at 480 Hz, which might cause eye strain if you're sensitive to display flicker. The display is also dimmer, so visibility can be an issue in well-lit settings.
And number 1.
Apple 2023 MacBook. The best laptop for graphic design we've tested is the Apple MacBook Pro 14, M3, 2023. Except for a new space black color, this 14-inch premium workstation is identical to its M2 predecessor design-wise. You still get a gorgeous mini LED display, a comfortable keyboard, a gigantic haptic touchpad, and tons of ports. The display's factory calibration is near perfect, so you can get right to work without further calibration. The only thing that might be a deal-breaker is its lack of full Adobe RGB coverage, so it might not be ideal for those in print graphics. Apple's M3 Pro/Max socks bring even better performance than the M2 chips as well as increased memory support, up to 128 GB. One notable change in the lineup is the addition of the base M3 model, similar to the 13-inch MacBook Pro with Touch Bar, which can be a good option if you don't need a lot of processing power but still want the Pro features like the display and upfiring speakers. The Apple MacBook Pro 16, M3, 2023, is also a good choice if you want more screen space. It has better sounding speakers but is more expensive and bulkier. Our recommendation for Windows users is the HP Omen Transcend 14, 2024. Designed as a cross between a gaming and workstation laptop, this compact 14-inch model is great for on-the-go use. It's available with Intel Meteor Lake CPUs and NVIDIA 40 series GPUs, up to a Core Ultra 9 185H and RTX 4070, respectively, giving you plenty of processing power to handle nearly any graphic design tasks. Its 120Hz OLED display doesn't get as bright as the MacBook Pros, but it has a wider color gamut with near-full Adobe RGB coverage, making it suitable for print graphics. The main drawback is battery life, as it lasts only around 6 to 7 hours of light use.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.